So last year I said to myself, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I said that to myself 3 different times. So my goal for this year, what motivates me, is I'm chasing that saying. I want to say to myself again, put myself in a position where I tell myself that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. See, the average person, what I am realizing is they run from hard things thinking that their life will become simple and easy. And that's not how it works. If you're always looking for easy, your life is very hard. So my advice, don't be average and go looking for the hard. What's the hardest thing in your life that you have done, and try to beat that this year. That's my goal. Average person won't do that. But you already know my motto. Don't be average. Now go clock in. So it is currently 4:30 on Friday, February 17th. I weighed in this morning at 206, so if I keep that, that should help out the average of being at 208 tomorrow, which means I dropped another 2 pounds. I'm supposed to be doing a chest and back workout today, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't feel like doing it. So I'm going to drink my pre-workout, and hopefully that will wake me up a little bit and get me in the mood to work out. But this brings me to a topic that I get asked, or a question that I get asked a lot on social media, and that is, what keeps me motivated? Or it comes in the sense of, what motivates me? Motivation is a weird word. A lot of people talk about motivation. A lot of people watch motivational videos. I actually used to be a motivational speaker for high schools around where I live. So I know motivation is something that a lot of people rely on. However, I have certain thoughts on motivation. Motivation is a great way to get you started. Usually when I get asked what keeps me motivated or what motivates me, it's usually when someone sees that I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. I was motivated to start doing that, but every single morning when I wake up at 3:30, I don't wake up every morning motivated. There's some days, right, that I'm super motivated, or something, I watched a video or something got me fired up and I'm motivated, but I do that every single day, and a lot of times I have zero motivation. So I'll talk about that. So I am a firm believer that motivation can help get you started, but your habits and your daily discipline is what keeps you going. There's no substitute for that. Like me waking up at 3:30 and working out, that's part of my habit. And if you're really looking at ways to change your life, then I would recommend reading this book. That book is a phenomenal book. That's the book that when I read, I started attaching and paying attention to my habits, my daily habits. And just to put it in perspective, so the other day I was like, I'm going to take a rest day on Monday. Well, obviously I work on Monday. Usually my rest day is on Sunday. So I said I'm going to rest on Monday. So I woke up early, and then I did my morning read. I did everything that morning except for stretch, workout, and do my cardio. When I was getting ready for work on Monday, I was feeling funky. Like I was just feeling out of it. I wasn't feeling like 100%. Not like I was sick or anything, but mentally I just did not want to go to work. I'm not saying I want to go to work every single day, but I haven't had a day like that where I was just like, man, I think I'm going to call off. I just want to stay at home and do absolutely nothing. And that, like I said, very rarely, if ever, happens. So I knew something was up, but the only thing that was up is I didn't work out. And I think it's because it's obviously working out puts you in a good rhythm and everything, but I think it's because I have a daily routine, a daily structure, and that was all jacked up, and it messed up the rest of the day. So motivation will get you going, but I really believe that if you have habits, it's what keeps you going. Like me waking up at 3:30, it's Friday. I don't even have work today. I woke up at 3:30. I set my alarm clock for it because I'm just used to it. I know how I feel throughout the day. So when it comes to motivation, which I'll talk about things in the past that have got me motivated to do certain tasks and accomplish certain goals, and I've used motivation. I'm not saying that I never ever used motivation, but what I'm saying is your discipline and your habits. You can't rely on motivation every single day, because I'll tell you right now, like right now, I'm not feeling motivated to do this chest and back workout. But at the end of the day, the average person won't, and you know my motto, don't be average. So I'm going to sip on my pre-workout, and then as I take you guys through this chest and back workout, I will give you some other key things that motivate me. So I'm also going to talk to you guys about what's next for me and my goals for 2023, because I was thinking about it last week and I had it all mapped out. And then again, when I'm working out or I'm running or I'm doing something physical, I have the best like epiphanies as I'm doing those things. So I had an epiphany of what I was going to do. Oh, by the way, today I'm going, you already know, Project One, Rocket Pop. Legit tastes like an actual melted like icicle or popsicle. Those summer popsicles that people eat. That's what it tastes like. And then I'm doing 1 scoop of Intra-Formance, which you know me and my carbs. Today is a low carb day though. I'm back on my carb cycling. I don't know if I've told you guys that. I am back on my carb cycling, which is helping with my weight loss. Fat loss. I'm not trying to lose weight, I'm trying to lose fat. Like I said, I was down to 208. I believe I was down to 208 last Saturday, so tomorrow I'll weigh myself. And if I weigh 206, I'm right on track. Now, as for my goals for 2023, I was thinking about this, and this is why I wanted to do what's next, and then obviously like what motivates me. So my buddy originally asked me to do a race in Nevada, Henderson. So it's about 3 hours, 2.5 hours from my house. And that was supposed to be on March 15th, I want to say, or March 17th. And I was down, I was going to do it. But then as I was looking over it, I decided that I'm not going to do that one. Because again, my main goal right now is I really want to get to 200 pounds and see how much fat I could lose and create a certain look before I do my race. That being said, as I have a race in mind that I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to do a sprint on April 15th. And this one's in San Diego, California, I want to say. Now, I have a lot of goals for this year and a lot of races and events that I'm thinking about doing. And I was going to share them all with you and basically show you how I planned out my entire year. But I'm debating on if I should show you all in one video or once I finish the sprint, let you guys know what race is coming next, what I'm going to be doing next, what event I'm going to be doing and everything. And almost like keep the suspense, keep you guys guessing on what's coming next. Or if you guys would rather me just tell you guys all at once, hey, this is what I'm doing for the year, these are the events I'm going to do, these are my goals, let's make it happen. Comment below what you want to see. Suspense, or if you want me just to tell you all at once. So I'm going to sip on this, stretch, read my Bible, and then I will get into the chest and back workout and give you guys another way I stay motivated. Oh, one of the worst parts about waking up early in the winter is it's freaking cold out here. But anyways, all right, so since I am going to be doing a sprint it'll be, I believe, 8 weeks from tomorrow. I believe tomorrow will be 8 weeks. So my training's going to switch up a little bit, not so much the actual workouts. I'm still going to be doing, so what my training split is going to look like, it's going to be pretty much the exact same. I think the only thing that's changing is obviously I'm going to have to start incorporating running. Since, for those of you who do not know what a Spartan sprint is, it's a 3-mile run, and in that 3 miles, you're doing 20 obstacles. So Sundays are going to be a rest day. However, I said in my full day, or a day in the life video, that I'm trying to get 15,000 steps every single day. So Sundays, what I noticed is if I don't work out, I literally get like maybe 2,000 steps, 3,000 steps. So my goal is to, on Sundays, at least get, I plan on doing a 45-minute walk, and then at some point get the steps for 15,000 throughout the day. Whether it's I go on a walk with my daughter, I play in the backyard with my daughter, basically just do something to keep me moving. Nothing crazy physical, but I do need to hit my steps because I think that's what's also helping with the fat loss. This training split, again, I found this one. I just typed in 5K 8-week training plan on Google. You could get a bunch of training plans when it comes to any race, 5K, 10K, half marathon, whatever it is. So I found one and it was labeled intermediate because last year I want to say I did all the easy ones, like the easy 5K, the easy 10K, easy half marathon. This year I'd like to obviously improve a little. So I'm going to do the intermediate. So Mondays I got speed work, which I'll show you, I'll do a video on what that looks like. Monday I also got a push day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do my workout, I do my push workout, and then I'm going to finish my workout every single week with my cardio. So I got speed work on Monday. Tuesday I got pull, and then it's an easy run. Wednesday I got legs, and then I'm just doing 45-minute walks. That's technically a rest day for the training plan, but I'm still going to get my steps. And then Thursday I'm going to do arms And then after arms, I'm going to do a variable run. So it all depends on what it is week by week, what the training plan calls for. And then Friday I got, like today, I'm doing push-pull, and then I got an easy run after. It's usually, from when I looked at the plan, it's usually like 2 or 3 miles. And then Saturdays are going to be my long runs. Saturdays again, since that's going to be race day, I'm going to start training as if I had a race. So exactly what my schedule would look like on race day. So most likely I'm going to sign up for like an 11:15 race, which means I have to get there at like 10, which means if it's 2 hours from here, I'm going to have to leave at 8. This is what you call backwards planning. So if I leave at 8, that means realistically I probably could get a meal in at 6, at 9, do the race at 11:15. I may even push my second meal until maybe 10. No, that might be too soon. I might do 9:30 for my second meal. So on Saturdays now, I'm not going to wake up and work out in the morning unless I'm not able to work out around 11:15. But my plan is on Saturdays, wake up, eat, and then at about 9 o'clock, eat again, and then at 11:15 start my workout, which again, it might be a mix between like whatever mileage it calls for. So say it calls for 5 miles, I might run 2.5 miles, do a workout, do 2.5 miles, or I may do a workout, run the 5 miles at the end. That way I'm fatigued and I'm still running as I'm already worn out. So we'll see. But that's the actual training plan. So I'm going to jump. So now I got my push-pull workout, which I'm going to take you guys through that. And then technically my training doesn't start until Monday, but I think what I'm going to do is, since I haven't ran in a long time, I'm probably going to do 2 miles, 2 easy miles at the end of this workout. So I'm going to get warmed up and then we'll get into it. So as I warm up, I will explain to you guys what has motivated me in the past and even still motivates me today. So anytime I think of motivation, like when I think of, man, I was super motivated and I had to step out of my comfort zone and do something I didn't want to do, I always think about when Cassie and I first started dating and how she motivated me to go back to school. So I think I told this story before. When Cassie and I first met, I was only 20 years old at the time, and I was taking basically some classes at VVC, community college out by us, and I was playing football, but I really wasn't like taking courses at the college with a goal of like what I wanted to do. I was really just kind of going through the motions, passing some classes, failing some classes, whatever, just not really focused. At the time, me and Cassie started dating, and Cassie was 2 years older than me. She had a lot going, and obviously you've seen my wife. She is absolutely beautiful. So she was 2 years older than me, so I was like, okay, she's 2 years older than me. She's working full time. She's going to school full time to be a nurse, which I was like, that's legit because that's not easy school. And then she was taking care of her dad at the time. She just had a lot going. And there was this one time where I called her, or she called me, and I was like, what are you doing? She said, I just got done with school. I'm on my way to work. And once I get off of work, I'm going to go home. I'm going to study because I have tests. And then tomorrow I have to wake up, do clinicals. She was just like naming off all this stuff. And I'm like, dang, this girl is legit. Like, this girl's not only a dime piece, but she got stuff going for her. So I was like, that's super, super cool. Like, I found a good one. And then I'll never forget, she like asked what I was doing. And I told her I was just like, I was playing Black Ops. It's a video game for you, those of you who don't know. Huge time gamer. And I was just gaming. And it made me think, like, I realized if I keep doing what I'm doing, chances are she's not going to stick around. Because everybody does it. Everybody's always like, kind of creepy. Everybody always basically puts themselves in categories. And at the time I saw, obviously, Cassie, it was in a whole different league than me. And if I didn't step up, not saying I could never get in that league, but I'd have to raise the bar of my own standards to get in that league. So at the time I was like, I'm in school, but you know what? I want to get a 4.0 and I want to actually start focusing on school and doing things I haven't done before. So I used Cassie as my motivation. I didn't want to lose her. I realized if I kept doing what I was doing, she was going to realize, okay, there's better things out there, better men out there. I'm going to go find me a better man. So anyway, for one of the biggest goals that I made when I first got into goal setting was I want to get a 4.0 at the college I'm at. So fast forward a couple weeks go by, a couple months go by, I ended up finishing not only with a 4.0, but I got a dean's list. I made the dean's list and I got this cool little certificate where I put it up on my fridge because it was legit, so that way every time she'd come over, she would see, hey, I made the dean's list and I'm a smart guy. And then fast forward, obviously, since I made that goal, now I'm married to my beautiful bride, Cassie. That one goal right there is one that I always like to look back on, because I'm like, man, if I didn't find that motivation, my wife, I would not have the life I have today. I would not have her as my wife. I would not have my daughter. I would not have this situation that I'm currently in 12 years after that. So when I think of motivation, that story always comes in my head, because I'm like, this woman literally changed my life just because she motivated me that much. And I always make the joke, I'm like, you put a beautiful girl in front of any dude and he will move mountains to make sure that he can get that girl. I don't care what it is. I didn't think I was smart. I wasn't really focused. I was playing video games and just doing that. And then lo and behold, Jesus Cristo drops this beautiful bride in front of me, and I just go to work on trying to become a better person. So when I think of motivation that way, that was what started me going back on school and really changed the projection of my life, direction of my life. And now, like for instance, motivation that I have currently today, and I told you guys about this in my last video, I'm really not wanting to finish my master's course right now. Like, I'm really dreading it. I hate class. I hate doing homework. I'm so over it. I got to count down 68 days. Now, when it comes to something like that, I already have the habit of doing my homework and turning in my assignments and doing all that. This is where I do rely on motivation. I keep having to go back to my why of why I want to go to college, why I want to graduate college. And when I first went back to get my degree, to become a teacher and get my master's, or I knew I was going to start my master's program, I made a list of 100 basically whys, why I want to go back to school. Because I knew that it was going to come to certain points where I was just like, dude, I do not want to do this anymore. And I'm at that point right now. So I always look back on that list and basically just read through it. And I wrote down everything, better schedule, better pay, more opportunities, everything I could think of, just so I could have a huge list. But as you rank that huge list of whys and motivation and everything, what you start to realize is there's certain ones that stick out way more than others, and that is the driving force. For instance, right now, all I'm thinking about, I want to set an example for my daughter. My wife, when she got her bachelor's, I was like, dude, I want to do that. I want to do something and make a dent. And one of the big things why I went back to school is because I wanted to be the first Dettorre in my family to graduate from college and have a bachelor's degree. And I was super excited to walk across stage and have them say Dettorre and make my parents proud. And that was a big moment, but I never got to do that because of COVID. COVID shut down everything. I didn't even get to walk for my bachelor's. And I was debating on getting my master's, but I'm like, if I don't get my master's, I'm never going to walk. I'm never going to have that moment that in the back of my head when I said, I want to get my degree. I literally, the first day of college, when we were sitting down and they were like, okay, does anybody have any questions? I said, yeah, when is graduation? And they're like, we just started. I said, I know, but when is graduation? And they're like, I think it's June 6th. I said, what time? And they're like, it's usually in the morning. I'm not sure. We haven't set the time yet. I said, where's it going to be at? And I was asking all these questions so that I could, one, look it up. I wanted to look up the actual spot of where I'd be walking across stage. I wanted to know what type of weather, what type of day, what type of, what time it was usually at, where the sun would look. I wanted to create this mental image that I could literally just visualize myself. And I visualized that for the 2 years I was doing my bachelor's, of me walking across this stage in Irvine, California at the amphitheater and having my gown on and my, the colors of the college that I graduated from, and them yelling my name and me looking out and seeing my mom, dad, and my wife and everything. And it was just I had that all visualized, and then poof, gone. Wasn't able to walk. And it was very disheartening because I'm like, man, I really wanted that from my parents at that point. So now all I'm focusing on with my master's is when I got 65 days left until I am done and I'm never going back to school ever in my life, because I absolutely hate school. All I keep thinking about is I'm going to be the first Dettorre for my family to have my master's degree. So that's a motivating factor right now. So when it comes to motivation, yes, motivation can get you through certain times. However, I already developed the habits of doing my homework and doing what I need to do. When I don't feel like doing them, that's when I kind of tap into that motivation of okay, I gotta get going. And sometimes one thing can't motivate you. You gotta have a list of things that will motivate you to get out there. But enough about motivation in school. Let's get into this workout, and then when I'm done with this workout, I'll give another one of my motivating factors that have helped me throughout life. So let's get into this workout. All right, so for today's chest and back workout, I decided to do the EMOM style workout, which is basically, it stands for every minute on the minute. So I did a 30-minute EMOM where I chose basically 5 exercises. I start off with bench press. I do a set of 12, and then I go straight into barbell rows for a set of 12. Now, I like to have my grip. If you look at my grip, I want to say it's pronated grip. I think that's right. I feel this is in the lower lats a little bit more than traditional barbell row. As soon as I'm done with that, then I go straight into dumbbell bench for a set of 12. And then I go into lat pull downs for a set of 12. And then I finish off this EMOM with a set of 12 on dumbbell flies. I like doing this style workout because, one, it's quick. I know it's going to be 30 minutes. And then it also is a good way to keep your heart rate jacked up and kind of train. I feel like it's a good way to train for Spartan races because I did it in the past and I really liked it, so I kept it. Now, once I finish that 30-minute EMOM, I take basically a 2-minute rest, and then I go into my core circuit, which my core is very short. I usually only choose 3 exercises, and then I do either 15 seconds, depending on the exercise, like these ones. I did hanging leg holds for 15 seconds, and then I did 15 side toe touches, and then I did 15 crunches on the cable machine. I do 3 sets of that, and then I basically just rest a minute in between. Once I'm done with that, then I jumped into the second EMOM, which this one's a 12-minute EMOM, and this one called for weighted pull-ups straight into weighted push-ups. So that's a 20-pound weighted vest I have on. And then I jumped into 15 dumbbell row on an incline bench. And when I'm doing these, I'm really focusing again on like almost swinging the weight back towards my lower back. So I do 15 sets of that, and then I go straight into 15 sets of dumbbell incline. So in a 12-minute EMOM, I only get about 4 sets of each one. So realistically, this workout only takes about 50 minutes, and that's another reason why I like this style workout. So give this EMOM a try and comment below what you thought of it. Alright, so push-pull or chest and back is done. Sweatshirt is going back on because now I'm going to knock out a 2-mile run. So again, my training doesn't technically start until Monday, but I haven't ran in a while, so I'm just going to do 2 easy miles. Hopefully not die. But what I want to talk about now is what I realized was motivating me the other day. So the other day, when my alarm clock went off at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was like, super not in the mood to wake up and go work out. So I was like, dude, I'm just gonna go back to bed. I'm tired, it's cold, I don't feel like working out. And then 2 words came through my head, which I've been focusing on a lot lately, and I don't know why. And the 2 words were bury them. Before you freak out and think about why the heck is Bryce saying that, this leads me to what has motivated me when it comes to school, what it motivated me for fitness, even like positions for like jobs and stuff. And I think I've said it before on this channel. I know I've said it to my students. So you have this voice inside your head. It's technically like your inner voice, your inner dialogue, self-talk. And a lot of people, when they have this self-talk, they believe everything it says. And they think that it's like, you think that it's actually you who's saying it, so you take it and you believe it. Now, I read in a book one time, and I forgot what book it was, but it was an amazing book. And it talks about that inner voice, and it gives the example of like how bipolar that voice is. And if it was an actual human, you wouldn't listen to it. And the example that I think of when I think of this voice, and as soon as I read that, and then I realized it and I started applying it, I was like, holy Jesus, that's so true. So I remember, like, and I use this example when I talk to my students. You ever start talking to someone that you're hoping to, possibly date or something, right? So, it could be anybody, but for the example, I'm going to use, like, when you're talking to a girl or a guy, right? And you're texting, you're going back and forth, and it's going good. And then you text something that you were a little iffy about, right? You kind of maybe thought it was a little risky, but you were like, whatever, and that voice inside your head said, oh, just send it, don't worry about it. So you send the text, and you guys are texting back and forth super fast, and then you send that text, and then out of nowhere, there's no response. And at first you don't really think anything of it. The voice comes in and it's kind of positive at first and it tells you, oh, don't worry about it. You know, she's probably busy, right? So then maybe 30 minutes goes by and you're like, oh dang, I wonder what she's doing. Oh, maybe she's driving and she's gonna text me when she gets home. And you do this every hour, every 30 minutes, whatever it may be, depending on how much you listen to this voice. And what ends up happening is that voice starts to switch as time goes on. So like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, say 5 hours. Now that voice comes inside and I don't know if you should have sent that text, Bryce. That was probably a bad text to send. And you start having a conversation with this. You start going back and forth, but this voice just keeps coming in negative. So then you don't hear back from her for a while and it's like nighttime and you're like, dude, I told you not to send that text, Bryce. You're an idiot. Why did you send that? She's probably not even gonna talk to you. She's probably never even liked you. Actually, you know what? In fact, she's probably cheating on you right now. She probably wants nothing to do with you. She's probably, whatever. Your voice just spirals and this voice comes inside your head and it's super negative and you start believing it. So then it starts encouraging, you know what? Screw that. I don't even need her anyway. I'm better off on my own. Whatever. I'm gonna do me. I'm going to bed when I wake up. New day, new me. Whatever. So you go to bed and you wake up the next morning and you have a text from her and you see the text from her. And the text says, oh my bad, I fell asleep. What are you doing today? You want to hang out? And that voice instantly comes back in and is like, that's right. I told you you were going to be okay. I told you that was a good text. I told you she still liked you. And you believe everything it says. You never question it. If that was an actual person and it was standing right next to you, and they were standing right next to you, you would be like, dude, you're bipolar, mind your business, like leave me alone. And the reason why I say that is you got to put a name to that voice. So sometimes what I use as motivation is that inner voice. So I have certain people in my life that have been super negative, super discouraging, super haters, whatever you want to call them. And everybody has them. So when it comes to certain aspects of my life, like for instance, I had a dude in high school that legit called me out in front of the entire class saying that I was stupid, I was a dumb jock, I was never going to amount to anything. And that's why all I do is worry about sports and working out or something like that. And he said it in front of the entire class, and the entire class was like, dang. And I was like, holy Jesus, like, all right, dude, and I'm not a confrontational person, so I didn't even call him on it. I was just like, dude, that was whatever. And that stuck with me. So now, anytime I hear someone or that negative talk comes inside my head about schooling, about, oh, you're not gonna be able to finish your degree, or, you know, no one, whatever, just negative self-talk that we all have, I literally have a name for it. I'm not gonna say the name, because I don't know, he might be watching this right now. I'm not confrontational, but I have that name. So every time that voice comes in, I literally picture that dude and I picture him saying it and then I name him. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna call him Joe. It's not Joe. Joe, mind your business. You were wrong about that. You're wrong about this. And then I literally like kick him out of my mind, right? I also have a voice when it comes to like fitness and nutrition and like all the fitness aspects of my life of when I want to accomplish a goal, whether it be a Spartan race or get down to a certain weight. Anytime that voice comes inside my head, I got a name for that person too. About someone and some people that, not even gonna say it, but anyway, that voice comes inside my head. So as soon as that voice comes in, I name that voice and get it out of my head. I also, on the other hand, use it for positive self-talk. There's certain positive self-talk that I use and I'll name those people. And you guys might be thinking like, whoa, Bryce, you're actually crazy for naming these people. I challenged my students to do it for a month and they freaked out. They were like, yeah, I got a name for this person always talks bad about whether my grades are. This person talks bad about my sports. This person talks bad about and they literally named these people. And they said it actually works. So it's not just me. I challenge you to try it. Name these voices inside your head of people that you don't like and you could use it as motivation. But I use it for positive self-talk too. So for instance, anytime a positive voice comes inside my head, I literally picture Cassie and Adeline saying that stuff to me, like building me up, like, you got this, don't worry about it, you know, you've done this before. And like, they are the ones that are feeding me my inner dialogue of making me feel like I can reach my true potential. So I use them for my positive self-talk. And then when I'm at like my peak state of mind where I'm running and I'm feeling good, or I hit a PR, or I'm just like jacked out of my mind and I'm like ready to go, that voice I gave Brian. And the reason why I named Brian is because if you guys don't know who Brian Dawkins is, the greatest safety of all time, go watch, just type in Brian Dawkins highlight tape on YouTube and you're gonna go wanna play football and hit people. It's just what happens. This guy, how he lived his life on and off the field was a huge inspiration, motivation to me, and like something I strive for every single day, is just to bring that passion that he had on the field into everything I do. Bring that passion into sports, bring that passion into education, teaching, my relationship with Cassie, my relationship with my daughter, my YouTube channel, bring all that passion. So anytime I'm at that peak state. I literally picture him saying that to me and his tone of voice. The dude's an absolute beast. You have to listen to him. Sometimes I even listen to him when I'm working out just to get into the zone. So that would be my second like main motivation, is like right now I'm focusing on, I guess you could say, people that I just want to prove wrong. I want to prove myself right. And every time that voice, because that voice is always talking to you, whether you like it or not. Like, it's probably talking to you right now. As you're listening to this, it's feeding in, either saying I'm full of BS, or hey, this dude might be onto something. And I challenge you to start paying attention, become aware of that voice when it's talking to you, and give it names. If it's a negative self-talk, give it a name of someone that you've had issues with in the past. And the best one to use is someone that said you couldn't do something and you did it because you proved them wrong. So if they were wrong about that, why would you ever listen to them again? And that's kind of why I gave that name of that one dude to the negative self-talk, because I proved him wrong. So every time that voice comes back in my head, I literally call out Joe. I'm gonna call him Joe. He's not Joe. And say, like, to have a conversation with Joe and be like, back off, dude. I got this, right? And I know it sounds weird, but you guys, again, have been asking me what motivates me. Between my wife motivating me to go back to school, you might be able to use someone, an actual physical person, to motivate you, but then at the same time, you may not have people around you to motivate you. You may only be listening to this voice inside your head. So my second tip for motivation is give these voices a name and use it to your advantage to stay motivated. I always try to make these videos short, and I just got so much to say to you guys that it never works. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys are watching this long, I hope you're getting some insight from this. I hope you are finding some tips and tricks that you could use to motivate you, because that's what this is all about. But anyway, I got 2 miles. I'm gonna knock out these 2 miles, and then when I get back, I'm gonna give you the last part of what motivates me, and then we'll wrap up this video, and you guys are gonna have a great day. So 2 miles, easy money, let's get it. It is effing cold out there. Holy Jesus. Can't feel my toes, can't feel my fingers, but I got the 2 miles done. I'm gonna have to invest in some cold gear. Since I didn't have school today, or didn't have work today, I'm running at 7 to 7:30, but realistically on work days, it's gonna be 6 to 6:30. And right now it is currently 25 degrees out there. All right, so 2 miles is done. I did 2 miles in 21 minutes. Average heart rate 145, which is perfect. Now the thing is I always have to do 45 minutes of cardio. So now I got 25 minutes that I'm gonna do on the stepper in order to get my steps, because right now I'm only at about 6,000 steps. So I am gonna do 25 minutes of cardio right now, but I'm not gonna bore you guys with that because it's extremely boring, and I'm gonna be reading while I do it. So I wanna leave you guys with the last thing that motivates me, that's currently motivating me. And it sounds pretty cliche, and it might even be cheesy. Lately I've been getting a lot of my motivation from you guys. It's true. Like, as cliche and as cheesy as I used to think it was when I'd hear people say like, oh, you guys motivate me and everything. You guys reaching out and letting me know, like, for instance, you guys, there's a lot of you guys that are signed up for Spartan races this year. You were signed up before I was even signed up. So it like lit a fire underneath me, like, hey, I gotta get out there and run some Spartan races. At the same time, when you guys are letting me know what you guys are currently struggling with, or what you guys have gone through, or you guys' morning routine, whatever it is, you guys reaching out and letting me know that like you guys are doing stuff, and then at the same time I may have had some inspiration for you guys. Like, that's huge. Like, that's the whole reason I got into teaching, is I always wanted to make a difference in people's lives, whether it be students, whether it be adults, whether it be something. I just truly want to make an impact. So hearing you guys let me know that somehow I've impacted your life, like, that is huge motivation for me to keep actually doing what I'm doing. So like, whether it's signing up for Spartan races, whether it's putting out content, whether it's putting out content that you guys are requesting, like, that's a huge motivation for me. So I sincerely mean thank you for motivating me to keep doing what I'm doing. I appreciate it more than you guys probably know at this time. So that would probably be the last part of motivation. So recap real quick what exactly motivates me. It's gonna be either a physical person. At one point it was, most of the time it's my wife, it's my daughter. I've had different parts of my life where it was my parents motivating me, people that I work with, friends motivating me, whatever. It may be a physical person that I actually see every single day, I'm related to, I'm in a relationship with, whatever. That's a big motivation, as an actual physical person. Second motivation is the voices inside your head, the haters, the naysayers, but at the same time, positive feedback, positive self-talk that you give yourself. That's a huge motivation for me, that keeps me focused and pushing forward on those days when I don't feel like doing something, because I have those days too, or the days that I feel like quitting. And then the last bit of motivation that really motivate me is gonna be you guys, like I said, at the end of the day, you guys giving me feedback, you guys requesting stuff, you guys saying that I impacted your life in some way, or impacted, made you set a goal, whatever it may be. That is a big motivation for me, is being able to make a difference and impact at least one person's life. Comment below what you guys are motivated by currently right now. What currently motivates you to push through when you feel like quitting and go that extra mile. I'd love to hear it. I'm trying to stall right now because I really don't want to do this cardio. But again, I got to find motivation and knock out this cardio. So until next time, guys, you guys already know the motto. Stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, don't be average. Now go find your motivation.